This is another episode of Nerd Central Podcast, or NCP. My name is Stazz, and in this episode, we're going to be talking about Shadows of Mordor. And it's going to be a first impressions video slash review. It's been out for a little while now, and I think I played it enough to where I can give it an accurate score. And for anything that we do give scores on, it is we do a pros, cons, and then we kind of do like, would you recommend, would you pass, or wait for it to go into the for sale bin, more or less. I think that works a little bit more better than numbers or scores for that matter. So let's talk about Shadows of Mordor. And Shadows of Mordor, let's see here, I have the game case right in front of me. I picked this one up for PC, and it is developed by Monolith Studios and released by WB Games. And it ties in a little bit with the Lord of the Rings movies, which is really, really cool. Currently, I'm doing a couple missions for Gollum, and it's not really giving anything away, but Gollum makes an appearance in this game, and it's actually really, really cool. So let's talk about some of the pros. So graphically, for the PC, looks really, really good. I do know that they released a high definition texture pack, and while my PC is kind of a monster, it can run Battlefield 4 on pretty much ultra or high settings. I wouldn't be able to run it that well. It's not that much of a beast, but I'm able to run almost everything on like a custom ultra setting, and it looks really, really good. Not a lot of frame rate problems. Doesn't slow down whenever I'm battling high amount of density orcs or anything like that. I do notice that occasionally it will kind of lag a little bit once I'm going from a small setting into a large open area. That's the only time I really notice anything being a problem. But even at that, it's not that noticeable, and it reminds me of Assassin's Creed when I used to play it on the Xbox 360. Having running around, and there would be kind of a slowdown. It feels just like it. Another thing too is the combat gameplay. The combat is really, really well. So it's very similar to Batman and Assassin's Creed. So you have your main damage dealing attack, then you have your counter attack, then you have your stunning attack, and then you have your mobility move special, or your dodging mechanic. All that plays fairly well with the different settings and different environments that you're put in. Open small areas, or in a corridor, or whatever the case may be. And the enemy mobs start to become variants. So instead of having somebody that you can easily jump over and counter, then you have to start worrying about enemies that can't take normal damage. So you have to either stun them or attack from behind. And some of the war chiefs, which are like the highest ranking orcs in this game, they have special strengths and vulnerabilities, or invulnerabilities for that matter, which is really, really cool. Another thing too is the story. Now, while I do consider this a pro, some might consider this as a con. The story itself, you actually pick up. The most fascinating part for me, at least, is the lore. So I'm really liking that. You find out who this wraith is, and what makes him so unique, more or less. And it's not really giving too much away, but you play your wraith companion is Celebrimbor, which is the original maker of the Rings of Power. 3 for elves, 7 for the dwarves, and 9 for the kingdoms of men, which is really, really cool. And I've been saying his name wrong the whole time. I was saying with an S sound instead of a hard C sound. So hearing him speak it is really cool. And another thing too is the Nemesis system. Now with the Nemesis system, it does kind of revolutionize the Nemesises or your enemies in the game. While there isn't a set bad guy, I have a friend who also is playing this game, and me and him have one common enemy, or one common orc, which is Ratbag, and everybody else that I've talked to hasn't encountered him yet, or whatnot. So with the Nemesis system, every orc that you take out leaves a vacancy that another orc that you haven't fought can rise up the ranks in. Now, if an orc defeats you, he too will also rise in rank, or can challenge a captain or a war chief and then move into that rank. Also, if you don't kill an orc, and let's say you're fighting a group and one gets away, he could then later come back to you, and he could be a higher level captain, or he could be even a war chief or something like that, and you could challenge him, or he could actually be looking for you and challenge you, which is really, really cool. And another thing, too, is there's something called vendettas. So I'm playing this on the PC, and I have a couple other friends who are playing this on the PC, and if they die to an orc, or just die during battle or something like that, their orc that they lost to can appear in my game, and it'll come up as a special vendetta mission, and I can avenge my friend's death. That's actually happened a couple of times, and it's actually really, really cool. Some of those enemies were actually pretty tough, and I was like, wow. I can see why, my one friend died to this guy. So, that's pretty much all the pros. Again, really good combat, very interesting story, and the Nemesis system is actually really, really good. Also, I would like to take a side note, too, in that the upgrades, you get upgrades and ability points, and these affect, what kind of attacks you can do. You can do 2 executions at once, or you can do a stealth drain or a stealth brutalize. Really, really cool. They're very simple. However, I feel that whenever I upgrade or unlock one, my character feels more powerful, and it's starting to get to the point where I actually have some pretty cool abilities, like the Shadow Strike, which is the one where I can, instead of shooting an arrow, I can then teleport and instantly kill a target, or just outright attack him. Really, really cool, and it adds some sort of coolness. It makes me more, I guess you could say, more badass that I'm feeling whenever I play my character. Now, some of the cons, while the combat I had actually as a pro, there are certain aspects where I feel like I'm getting cheated. For example, there is a mob that has a shield and pike, and in order for you to attack him, you have to go vault over him with your dodge button and then start attacking him. While that might seem fairly simple, and it is, there are certain instances where I'm attacking another mob, and he'll come up from behind me and then attack, and then it shows me my dodge ability. Now, I don't know if it's because I'm just supposed to dodge out of the way, that's fine, or hit the dodge ability as like I'm countering, but more often than not, I can't hit it fast enough because it feels like it's a shorter quick time, and I get attacked, or I take damage for that matter, and it can get really annoying, especially if you're fighting against a lot of the specialty mobs. Like there's berserkers, which you can only do damage if you stun them, they can be pretty intense if you're fighting a couple of them. Another thing too is, while I guess you could say it's more or less the execution of the story. Now, while I am enjoying the lore and the story that I'm getting, however, they kind of throw you in the middle of it, kind of a thing, where the game takes place roughly, I believe, either after you die or shortly thereafter. So you've been dead for a little while, and you kind of come back. You don't really get a sense of why this happened, other than the Wraith, Celebrimbor, tells you, you're banished from death. So am I. Let's team up and find out why. Other than that, you get more tidbits and more story from side missions than the main quest. Which, again, I'm enjoying the lore. I love Lord of the Rings. I love the the movies and stuff like that. So it's not really much of a con, but it's more of a nitpick. Now that's really about it for me for cons. Again, I can't praise this game enough. It's I know it's getting a really good reviews on other sites, and it's something that's you should definitely pick up. Now, while I did pick this up for the PC, it is out on the Xbox One and PS4. However, if you're looking to get this for the 360 or PS3, it won't be out till a couple months later, and you'll get more or less a watered down nemesis system. I don't know how much won't be included. All I can guess is that the aspects of you killing the enemy and then having them ranks be filled, that probably will happen. But there are examples of where you can either send death threats to captains or war chiefs, and that'll have them rank up, but you can get better loot. Or you can probably the vendetta parts where you can take out a friend's enemy. That probably won't be in there. However, it's still going to be a great game, no matter what system you play it on. So now we come to kind of the last portion of this video. It's going on about 10 minutes or so. It's not that long of a video. That's fine. But our last portion of the video is going to be whether or not I recommend, pass, or wait till it goes on sale. I recommend this game. This game is by all means what Lord of the Rings games should have been. It has awesome gameplay. It has awesome action. The story again is really, really interesting, at least for me. And if you haven't played any of the Assassin's Creed or Batman games, this game won't be overwhelming to you. It's very simple. It's a very couple of buttons that you have to really know and figure out what you're using with. But again, I highly recommend this game. And if you're on the fence about it, I would definitely recommend maybe picking up for on the cheap, like the first 2 Assassin's Creed games, or even the first Batman Arkham Asylum game, because that has very, very similar mechanics in the sense that the fighting with the countering, and then even the stealth. Because the stealth is another aspect of this game that's done really, really well, and I'm actually finding myself enjoying the stealth much more than the actual swords a swinging aspect of action games like Assassin's Creed, where I'll just jump into a fight and just murder people. But with Shadows of Mordor, I'm actually enjoying and picking people up from a distance and then sneaking in and then taking them out one by one. Granted, I haven't unlocked all the Wraith powers yet, but there are some pretty cool ones where I can drain them from afar and have their heads explode. Nothing is more satisfying than seeing an orc's head blow up in front of you, or then again chopping it off, with one foul swoop. But yes, highly recommend this game. Go get this game, either Xbox One, PS4, or PC, or if you have to wait. Now, another thing too to mention is while I can play it on a fairly high setting on my computer, I have a friend who also is playing this game on not as high settings. And he's saying that it still looks really good and still plays very, very good. So if you kind of have like a decent gaming rig, something that you want to play, these current systems, by all means pick this game up, and I'm sure you can do just fine. So that's going to conclude this episode of Nerd Central Podcast, and hopefully we can get another one with me and Mike and maybe Matt and talk about some of the upcoming movie news. Or I know that I will be doing another review, or first impressions, I should say, on Alien Isolation. That game looks really scary, and I can't handle scary games, so it's going to be interesting to talk about. So I'd like to thank you again for ever tuned in, and look for us soon, and I'll see you later.